Hello and welcome back to EV Swap. I'm Jimmy and I'm a car enthusiast. I love cars of all types, but here at EV Swap we take cars that are gas and make them electric. Alright, it's been kind of a hiatus since my last video. Sorry about the delay. I've just been super busy with both my projects here in the shop and a couple other projects I've been working on and helping out with. But here's some updates going on the last couple weeks here at EV Swap. We had a Tesla in to do a internal coolant delete mod too. We got battery boxes installed in the Volkswagen Beetle. We got some updates on the Tacoma and the coupling that was manufactured to mate the motor to the transmission. And I've got some updates on Team Arc Blast, some updates on our electric race car that we've been racing in the 24 Hours of Lemons racing series. So let's get into the video. All right, we got a Tesla in EV Swap shop. And gonna do some maintenance on this thing. Gonna do gearbox oil drain and fill and coolant flush, and then we're gonna install a coolant delete on the Tesla here. So let's get to it. We got the Tesla up in the air. Here's the drive motor. It's a little grimy, but not bad. And basically what we're gonna do is on this side of the motor is this aluminum casting piece with this hose that comes out. And basically that has a cooling pipe that goes deep into the motor through the rotor, and it's supposed to cool the rotor. But on these older Model 3s, this one's a 2013, that can actually start leaking and causing more problems for the motor, ruin the motor in some cases. And basically it's not 100% needed. It's was something that was actually deleted in the later Teslas because they figured that it wasn't worth the hassle of the leaks, and it didn't really benefit the cooling as much that it's required. So we have this block off plate. So it's got this piece that's pressed in. So instead of a long tube, you'll see it later, this block off plate will just block off that rotor cooling passage. So that's kind of the aftermarket fix that people are going with now. So we've got the part, we're gonna put it on the motor, but it's not that simple. What we have to do is we have to drop the entire subframe out of the Tesla, and then we have to remove the motor from the subframe so we can access that piece. Because it's right here, and I could get all the bolts off of it probably, but you can see it's right up against the casting, so it will not come out. So that's what we're doing. We're doing the Tesla upgrade. Let's get started. Got the drive unit and the subframe removed from the Tesla. It's pretty simple. Hardest part is getting the really tight bolts out of the calipers and the shocks. Everything else was pretty easy. So now I've got to remove the high voltage motor itself, the drive motor and gearbox and everything, so I can get this little piece off right here. That's what we're going for. Motor is now free from the subframe, and I've got this broken loose. And you can see this tube that goes all the way deep in there. That's what we're going to break off. It looks like possibly it's been leaking, or that's some gunk built up on there. So now I'm going to clean out inside that tube, clean everything up, clean the flanges up, and I'll install the new part. We're all done on the Tesla. We got the coolant delete installed. We got all the fluids changed. We got the drive unit all buttoned back up inside, and it looks like it's going to work great. So check out the original coolant, internal coolant pipe. I think this is an indication that it was leaking. I'm not sure exactly where the leak takes place. I'm wondering if it's inside there or if it's up at this end. I'm not sure, but you can see the blue tint to this grease, this crud. I think this is what happens when the gearbox oil and the coolant mix. They create this kind of like Vaseline-y, kind of gross stuff. And it doesn't look as bad as the other ones I've seen, but you can see there is some rust, some spots on here that are rusty. So I think we did this coolant delete just in time on this Tesla so that we save the motor and it doesn't need a full motor replacement. So that's great news for the customer. I hope that it keeps serving him for years and years to come. And if you need a coolant delete done here in Colorado, look me up and I can do it on your Tesla. The front battery is in the Beetle. So there's two of these Tesla modules. You can see I've got the three others here. These are going to go in the rear battery box. but the front battery box has two modules, flat stacked on top of each other. It's got this cool bracket here that goes from the lower positive up to this negative here. Then down there you can see my most negative lug, which is going through the big fuse here. And then that I need to connect from this post to one of these terminals on the connector. And then I take the positive from this battery and go down to the connector there. So just a couple more wires to make and crimp. Then the BMS wires, this is the CAN and the IMO for the other BMS, and then 12 volt red and black there. So this is the BMS module. The BMS-C for the front battery pack. So that's kind of, it's all coming together. I got it bolted in nice and tightly, and just got it assembled. There's these two, I think they're ABS plastic pieces, front and rear, that kind of sandwich in with the rails. On the Tesla packs have these rails, so these plastic pieces have slots to hook into those rails to keep them nice and secure. And then this aluminum panel goes on the front, and I got it all nice and bolted up with some Loctite and some sealant to keep any moisture out. And then one thing I added that the battery did not have is this little blue thing here, which is a little vent. It's one of those Gore vents, so it's waterproof, dustproof, everything, but it'll let the air pressure equalize inside and outside. And then this is a USB plug, which we can plug in externally to communicate with the BMS and basically program it, set it up, get it working, and then we can diagnose any problems without having to open up the battery. So that's pretty cool. This one, I basically put the box in. I put a couple 2x4s underneath it so I could still access these little bolts and things underneath. And then I just kind of like put the one pack in, got the connectors done on the first pack, and then put the second pack in, and got it all buttoned up. So this pack is just about done. Just 2 high voltage wires I need to make, plug everything in, and the front pack is done. So the next job will be doing the rear pack. If we go inside the Beetle, it's all ready to go. This wire needs to be trimmed down, and I've got the holes drilled for the rear battery box and the main cable already made up. So that will go in next. I need to put, of course, the carpet in first, cut any holes I need for the main cable, cut through the carpet, try to do it nice and neat, and then we can put the rear battery box in, which I'm not really looking forward to, because like the front one, just due to the weight and size of those modules, I'm gonna have to actually climb in here, set the box up there empty, put the first module in, you know, do some wiring, put the second module in, do some wiring, third, do some wiring, and then do all the final sealing and connections in the box, in the Beetle, literally in the back of the Beetle. So I have to do all that in here. Not looking forward to it. I mean, it's doable. I'm just gonna have to be a contortionist and get it all done, but I'm pretty confident I can do that, no problem. So that will be a huge step forward. Once the batteries are in, I can go ahead and finalize the rest of the wiring on the car, and then I can start testing. So I'm gonna have to test the contactor box, I'll have to test the controller, the charger, the DC to DC, make sure everything's working and working correctly. Everything's communicating with each other. The CAN bus between the BMS and the other components in the car, just make sure everything is working. So that's the plan. Moving ahead, it's coming together quick. This is kind of, it's the heaviest duty, like literally the heaviest part of the build, but it's also kind of the fastest moving in comparison to some of the other wiring. So this is a huge step forward to actually get some modules mounted in the car. So really happy with that, and we'll just continue on and get it going. These last couple weeks, I've also been helping out with Team Arc Blast. We've been working on the electric Datsun race truck. It's a 1976 Datsun 620 pickup truck that has been converted to electric. It has a water-cooled Hyper 9 motor, which is kind of a rare thing. Most of the Hyper 9s are air-cooled, but we have a water-cooled one, and we use Jaguar I-Pace modules. We have 3 separate battery packs. Each is about 32 kilowatt hours, and during the course of the race, we swap in the battery packs in our pit stop, and we put the batteries on chargers that charge off of RV plugs at the racetrack. So it's a battery swappable race truck, and it's built for endurance racing. Last year in 2024, we set the Lemons EV lap record at 711 miles. And this year we're going to Thunderhill in California, and we're going to race in a 25-hour race. Well, 25 hours and 1 minute at the Lemons race there, and we're hoping to beat our record and set a new EV lap record. Also next weekend at Thunderhill is going to be Team Electric Turtle Racing, and they've got a Chevy Bolt that they've been racing in the Lemons Racing Series. We haven't been on track at the same time yet until next weekend. We're going to be 2 EVs on the track. We both have the potential to set the new EV lap record, so we're really going to be racing each other to try to bring home that record, and in our case, maintain the record and not let it slip. So it's going to be an extremely cool race. It's going to be hot in Thunderhill, over 100 degrees, 108 degrees they're saying. So not looking forward to that, but I'm going to do a video on the race. But in the meantime, be sure to check out the live stream for Team Arc Blast, May 31st and June 1st, next weekend, 2025. And we're going to have a live stream. So I put the link to the live stream down below. It's on Team Arc Blast YouTube channel here, and we'll be live streaming basically the whole race. We have a really cool Sentinel live streaming system, and so it will capture in-car footage for the whole 25-hour race and stream it to YouTube. So be sure to check that out. Again, link is in the description below, and I'll post a reminder next week as soon as we're going to go live. So follow me here on YouTube or on Instagram at Electric Land Cruiser, or on my X account at EV Swap LLC. Links in the description below. Thanks for watching.